Welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is a Tuesday morning. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene with you at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Be sure to like it, share it, and follow it. We appreciate you coming along with us on the ride this morning. I got to warn you, Jeremy's fired up.
Pissed. Pissed is the word. I'm pissed off.
It's almost like the Jets played last night.
Hey, how about you eat one?
38-10, the Arizona Cardinals demolished the Dallas Cowboys last night in the finale of Monday Night Football. The early game, 26-17. Chiefs beat the Bills. We'll have the Week 7
going
power
into
rankings.
Week 7.
Yep, the Week 7 power rankings by Jeremy Greene coming your way in this program, as well as we'll get you ready for tonight. I think I'm going to have to audible on this one. We're going to have to bring Ron in for the last little bit of the program. You can sit over here and we'll talk World Series. Since the World Series is starting up tonight, Ron's Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think it's going to be a real fun World Series. I know you won't watch a second of it, Jeremy, so I won't even bother.
Nope, I'll watch more of the World Series of Dice. Grits and gravy. Kansas City, Missouri. Here to take everybody money.
Last night, Dallas Cowboys didn't think their season could get worse. But apparently it is. And now I'm questioning whether or not something needs to be done.
They suck something awful.
They do.
I mean, is there? I don't think there's a nicer way to say that. They are god awful. Kyler Murray demolished them.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. I almost want to this should be National Go Hug a Cowboy Fan Day. Because you got so excited because, now we got Mike McCarthy and we don't have anymore. And it got worse.
Yep. It did.
Oh my God, they're terrible. And Ezekiel Elliott's apparently allergic to footballs.
Yep.
Did you know that?
Yep. Ezekiel Elliott continues to fumble the football. The line is completely decimated now. Now they're only down to, one of their primo starters on the offensive line.
I want you to understand.
Last night.
I want you to understand something that I'm getting ready to say. They lost 38-10 last night to a quarterback that completed 9 passes. Mm-hmm. That's hard to do. You almost have to try. Now, one of those passes was 80 yards to Christian Kirk, where I think they forgot he was on the team. I mean, this is the worst defense I've ever seen. The Seahawks and the Cowboys are competing to see who has the most god-awful defense in the history of the NFL.
It's a close one. And if you're going to have a defense that bad, you have to have an offense as good as the Seattle Seahawks. And the Dallas Cowboys can't get shit going on offense.
Here's the thing. Andy Dalton still threw 54 times.
Which is ridiculous. I get that you're down in the ball game and your running back is allergic to the ball, but, I mean, did they bring in Tony Pollard at some point?
I think he had a couple carries.
He had
10 carries.
He had 10 carries. Okay,
Rico Dowdle had 3 carries, too.
God, I love you, Rico. That's great.
I mean, definitively, nobody on that team could run a greasy peg up a cat's ass, but, yikes.
They are real bad.
They made Kenyon Drake look like Barry Sanders.
You laughed at me when I said a couple of weeks ago.
I laugh at you quite often for many things that you say.
I know you do, but you laughed when I said they need to fire Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator. I've now moved on. They not only need to fire Mike Nolan, they need to fire Mike McCarthy.
Here's one of my favorite stats that you'll ever hear ever. The Cowboys have allowed 14 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns through 6 games. The last time that happened was the 2006 San Francisco 49ers, whose head coach was
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan.
Yeah.
And their offensive coordinator was
who?
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Holy cow.
That was famously the year that Mike McCarthy said he didn't want Aaron Rodgers, and they took Alex Smith at 1.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, this is bad. This is horrible. There's no other way. I mean, I came in this morning, the first thing I said to Ron, because Ron's been down about the Dallas Cowboys all season, and we've been saying, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. Jeremy said they could go to the Super Bowl.
I was wrong. I don't say that often. I was wrong. I was super wrong.
But we've been telling Ron he's crazy, and I came in this morning, the first thing I said to him was, Ron, you have to admit, they're worse than you thought they were.
They're god awful. I honestly think Kellen Moore is like recreating Bird Box, and he's calling this offense with a blindfold on. Because there's no way you can be looking at this going, yeah, Andy Dalton thrown 54 times. That's a great idea. Let's do that. That's fun. Andy Dalton looks like he should be working at a surf shop and call people bro way too often.
Will this be enough, though? Will this be enough for Jerry Jones to realize that he needs to stop picking his guys?
Mike McCarthy wasn't his guy. This was I'm turning it over to a football guy with a Super Bowl and no more little puppets for Jerry Jones. Oops. Yeah, if anything, he might hire one of his kids next time.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
But I thought he was Jerry Jones. That was his plan, wasn't it? Was to turn it over to Mike McCarthy.
That's what he's done, and it's been a disaster.
Right, but does this now prove definitively to Jerry Jones that Jerry Jones can't make these decisions?
No, and I'll tell you why. I'm just looking at it from the if I was Jerry Jones, because I have a little bit of an ego myself.
Mm-hmm. Just a tad.
And Jerry Jones has been hands-on the one picking the vast majority of these players. This is not a lack of talent. This team has all the talent you could ever want. They arguably have the best receiving corps in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just horribly put together. The game plan is terrible. The defense is god-awful. I don't even know how to explain the defense. It's so bad. You came into this game last night going, what do we have to stop? DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't do any of that. And then you made Kenyon Drake look like Earl fucking Campbell. This is a guy that literally couldn't get out of his own way. He was averaging per carry what it would take for him to fall down.
Mm-hmm.
And you let him go 20 for 164 with 2 touchdowns. What?
It was the perfect recipe, though, for all those Kenyon Drake fantasy owners.
They won't do it again.
Trust me, he didn't mean to.
He won't.
Kenyon Drake literally ran for 163 yards, and I'm not sure at any given time he knew which goal line he was supposed to be running at.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is terrible at football. Mm-hmm. That's just how bad this Cowboys team is.
Yeah.
And, there's no sugarcoating it at this point. You cannot look at this team and not go, ugh. And I don't know how you fix it. You can't fire Mike McCarthy 6 games in. You'll be you're already a laughingstock, but you will be the biggest laughingstock in the NFL, short of the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And no coach will want this job because you gave him such a short leash. You're stuck. You're stuck for 2 years with Mike McCarthy, and I don't see how it's going to get any better.
Oh, you need to. I know it's a horrible look, but to me,
you can't fire Mike McCarthy.
Early.
I know that's what you're going to say. You can't do that.
Early.
You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Because not another coach in the NFL will take that job.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Everybody says, "Oh, it's the greatest job in sport." No, it's not. No, it is not. And I'm telling you right now, the biggest mistake they made was not hiring Chris Richard, because that's who should have gotten this job.
Yes.
And the fact that Jerry's in love with Kellen Moore, stop that. Mm-hmm. Stop doing that. If he's the one calling the offense, he is a moron.
I don't care how much you're down. There's no way that I'm turning the game over to Andy Dalton. I'm just not doing it.
It's genuinely shocking to think about. Do you understand? I want you to. I'm really going to need you to take the journey with me here. They've played 6 games. Do you know how many pass attempts this team has? Actually, you know what I want to do this. I want to do this the other way. How many rushing attempts does this team have total?
The Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
80.
153. How many passing attempts do they have?
200.
290! It's double! They're averaging 48 passes a game.
Jesus.
And that doesn't include sacks.
Oh my God.
If you include sacks, it's 14 more. They've run 300 pass plays in 6 games. I mean, it's like some little fat kid playing Madden.
Yeah.
Just going, hey, throw it again. No, we don't run here. Nope. Must defend this house. We don't run here, bunch of pussies. I mean, it's staggering to look at. And you have one of the best running backs in the NFL who apparently is allergic to footballs now.
Right.
This place has become like a black hole for talent because there are so many good players on this team and all of them all of a sudden suck. And I don't know how that happens. It's like Adam Gase breathed on this whole team. Ugh. Yeah, secret time in my power rankings, there's it's a very low number next to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. God.
They're awful. They're terrible.
They are terrible. And here's the thing. We need to call the competition committee together right now. The NFL needs to have an emergency competition committee meeting, and they need to sort this whole division winners get a home playoff game thing.
Division winners shouldn't even get an automatic playoff berth, and I've said it for years. Because this is stupid. Okay, so a team's going to make the playoffs because you're the best of this shit sandwich?
Yep.
Do you understand this division is 5-18-1? And 3 of those wins are against each other.
Mm-hmm. They are completely awful, every team in that division. And I went through the schedules this morning, and I can see a path, and I actually think it's highly likely that the Philadelphia Eagles win this division with a 6-9-1 record.
Very easily could happen.
And the fucking Dallas Cowboys, the best they can do is 6-10. The other 2 teams, they're 3-win teams, 4-win teams at best. But 6-9-1 could win this division, and that's going to earn the Philadelphia Eagles a home playoff game.
Uh-huh. I want you to think real hard about what I'm getting ready to say. The Dallas Cowboys have the 6th and 7th leading receivers in the league on the same team.
By the way, I do need to retract my criticism of Doug Peterson over the kick. Remember, he didn't go for the field goal and settled for the tie against the Cincinnati Bengals. That could be the very thing that gets us to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So-
Here's the thing. He knew that this whole division was a poop sandwich before the rest of us knew. Good on you, Doug Peterson. It's like hockey. Every point counts.
Uh-huh.
Just tie it. Screw it. I don't care. Just don't lose.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how bad the Cowboys are. We've spent the first 15 minutes of the show just talking about how bad the Cowboys are on a night that the 2 best teams in the AFC played each other.
Yep.
That is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. It is god awful, and it's not going to get any better.
No, it's going to get markedly worse.
Right. Because, like I said, they just lost another offensive lineman last night. That offensive line is in tatters.
It's not
And I
good.
don't know how they keep Andy Dalton. I don't know how they're going to run the ball. I don't know. I mean, they do have a couple of good young prospects on that offensive line, but
It doesn't matter. Unless Kellen Moore figures out that you can't throw it 900 times a game, it doesn't matter.
oh, I think they figured it out.
I mean, they're putting they're putting the defense in terrible situations constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a vicious cycle of how bad of a scenario can I put my defense in. Because they don't possess the ball any time at all. And then they give it right back to you, and Kyler Murray, last night Kyler Murray just mows right down the field. Short fields constantly. They turned it over a bajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
It's just staggering. It is a staggering state of affairs with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. But, yeah, they're on that path. They're still on the path to win the division. Hell, they didn't even fall in the standings. They're still number 1 in the damn division.
Which is disgusting.
Whew. It's awful in the NFC East, and they're going to get an automatic playoff bid. I'm fine with the automatic playoff bid.
I'm not.
You just you gotta take out the seeding.
Get rid of divisions. They're the participation trophy of the of sports.
Right.
Stop doing it.
You don't get the automatic 4 seed for winning your division.
No, because, I mean, this is the worst division in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that in terms of point differential, 3 of the 5 worst teams in the NFL are in this division?
Mm-hmm.
It's all of them but the Eagles. And no 2 of them equal the Jets. Just let that be known. Because we're on pace for the worst point differential in NFL history.
Yeah, it's a great football season.
He's just happy because that means it won't be his team anymore.
That's right. Kansas City Chiefs 26-17 over the Buffalo Bills. What did you think about this game last night, Jeremy? Because I did not think the Chiefs played well.
They were fine.
But Josh Allen was bad.
I don't agree with you. I don't so much think it was Josh Allen.
Okay.
It was they got behind, and they can't run at all. This is the worst rushing team in the NFL. When I said they need Le'Veon Bell, I was not kidding. Like, this is a team that needed Le'Veon Bell. Devin Singletary's not good. Mm-hmm. And that's a guy that I loved. Mm-hmm. I mean, I absolutely love Devin Singletary. Zach Moss, he's bad too. I mean, when you can't run the ball and you're I feel like Buffalo's completely lost their identity in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Because what they did so well was stay in front of the chains, which allowed Josh Allen to press downfield. That didn't happen. And yesterday, they had one great big problem. Defensively, they couldn't stop the run. Mm-hmm. Because they were selling out to keep Pat Mahomes from beating them deep, and Edwards-Helaire, who looks like a butterball turkey with arms and legs, just carved them up.
Yep.
I'm not off the bandwagon on the Bills, solely because they get 6 wins. Mm-hmm. And they have 6 wins in their division. They have 2 terrible teams and 1 average. Mm-hmm. They're going to win 6 games in that division, which means they're probably going to be 11-5, 10-6, something like that. But they have categoric issues. If you can't do if you first of all, you have a tremendous amount of talent in the front 4, and your front 4 couldn't at any point stop Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, it was unbelievable. You could drive a car through half the holes he had. Mm-hmm. And if Buffalo can't figure out a way to do that, then none of the rest of this matters. I mean, if you can't stop the run any better than that, you're doomed anyway. Because every team in the league is going to run the ball down your throat.
Mm-hmm. I think they normally do stand up against the run. And I think you're right. They sold out because they didn't want to let Pat Mahomes beat them. And they didn't realize how good Clyde Edwards-Helaire can be if you give him room.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still not good at football.
I don't disagree with you. But you give anybody that kind of room, they're going to have a big day.
I mean, it was...
I don't care if their name is Ezekiel Elliott or Frank Gore.
It was insane. And if you listen to our afternoon show, I gave you a monkey knife fight that First of all, if you don't have a monkey knife fight account, go there right now. Use our promo code TANK. They'll match whatever you deposit up to $50. I gave you free money because it was free money. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes had to outthrow Josh Allen by 20 yards, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire had to outgain Devin Singletary by 15 yards. There was no chance of that not happening. And they just literally handed you 3 times your money.
Right.
I'm to a point now that I'm curious if Buffalo can get out of the first round of the playoffs. Because I'm looking at the AFC, looking at who you're theoretically going to have to play. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they're better than any of them. I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, are they better than Pittsburgh? Hell no.
No.
Are they better than Kansas City? Obviously not. Are they better than Baltimore? No, probably not. I mean, hellfire, if Kansas City can run like that on you, what is Baltimore going to do to you?
Right.
I mean, my God, they might have 500 yards rushing.
Not then, they can't figure out which guy they want to use.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You can't beat. This is a team that was supposed to be predicated on running the ball and playing good defense, and they were terrible at both yesterday.
Right.
Patrick Holt just said that I'm tied for second in our Gardner Minshew on the Fly Fantasy Football League. Yes, I am, and I haven't lost a game in the month of October.
I don't think that's a 2020 thing. I really don't.
The bad thing is, with every other fantasy league I'm in, holy God, I have taken some lumps. I have a team that's 0-6. I've never had an 0-6 team in my life.
Wow.
I can't buy a win. I mean, it's like the fantasy gods are pissed at me for something. Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, your wife continues to kick your ass.
Yeah, my wife's 6-0.
That's
in a league with
hilarious.
4 of the smartest fantasy football players I know.
Well, maybe we should bring her on the show.
No shit. Just put her pretty little self right there. Smoking hot Amy's smoking hot pigs. I'm all the way in. That just came off the top of my head, and I'm down.
There you go. All right, let's get into the power rankings for Week 7 in the NFL. There's still no doubt who number 32 is.
Jets, just in the season. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say just getting corona.
God almighty. Jets, suck. Good
Yeah.
Lord, we're bad. Yeah, Jets 32.
Jets are number 32.
The Jets, there
They're
is no.
6.
I love how ESPN keeps trying to be judicious about, the Jets have a 92% chance at a top 5 pick. No, the Jets have 192% of the chance at a top 5 pick. They have a 92% chance at the number 1 pick because something very screwy is going to happen for them to win a game. Yeah. And I don't care if the coach is Adam Gase or Greg Williams or Greg Popovich or Drew Carey. I don't care who it is. They're god-awful.
I feel like we have more one-win teams in the NFL
there are a lot
than we ever have at this point. Does it feel that way to you?
More one-win teams?
More one-win
I feel like
teams.
there are more teams that are god-awful and are setting the – I'll just go ahead and give you from 32 to 24. I'll do it backwards because I think every one of these teams is fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
The Jets are 32. Giants, Vikings, Jaguars, Bengals, Washington football team, Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. I think every team in that is god-awful. And the sad thing is, one of them's going to make the playoffs. Because all 4 teams in the NFC East are in the bottom 8 of the league. What is happening?
Yep. It is not good. So Dallas is at the top of that list for you now?
Dallas is 25 because tell me who they're actually not better than. The Houston Texans are the team behind them, and they're terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Texans keep trying to win games and failing miserably in some of the most epically stupid ways I've ever seen. That is just a pile of dumpster juice from 24 down.
It is.
Just sewer water. I will say the bottom 4th of the NFL is worse this year than I've ever seen before. Mm-hmm. I don't think any team I just said could on any given day beat a team in the top half of the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, my team at 16 is the Chargers. I think they would beat every team in that list by 30.
Not even give the Philadelphia Eagles a chance.
The Eagles might keep it close. That's why they're the first team in that list.
Yeah.
Every other team is god-awful.
Okay.
And Ron did point out that I have the Eagles ahead of the Cowboys. That is how the red is off this rose. I cursed the Cowboys. I'll take the credit for that.
Good job. Every Cowboy fan is thanking you for that.
Yep, you're welcome. I did it. His kiss of death rubbed off on me. 23, the Atlanta Falcons.
All right.
That team's I told you, the team's way better when Dan Quinn goes away. Mm-hmm. They still have offensive talent. They can still score on you, and I don't put them in the dumpster juice that is the bottom quarter of this league.
Right.
They don't play defense well, but they played with their hair on fire for Raheem Morris. Mm-hmm. Might have been for one game. They might be back at 29 next week. I can't tell you that they won't be. For this week, I believe the Atlanta Falcons could beat every team below them. Mm-hmm. Because they'll just flat out outscore them.
And they've got a chance to pick up some wins here in the next few weeks. So
Agreed.
I see them climbing the ladder a little bit.
I do
and
too.
Then they'll come back
That's
down.
actually, I'm trying to get out in front of it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to win some games because their schedule is an atrocity.
Mm-hmm. Well, they only have a 3-game window here.
Yeah, but that 3-game
wins.
window puts them at like 4. What was it? Whether it be 4 and 5?
Yeah.
4 wins is there are 8 teams in the league that aren't going to win 4 games.
Yes.
Because they are sewer water.
And then after that, they got to pray for a miracle.
Yeah. Then they need to. I hope they found religion at some point in their lives.
Yeah,
because they're going to need an act of God.
They still got to play the Saints twice, the Bucks twice, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
That's 7 losses. 7 of them.
That's how they're going to end their season.
Yeah, it's
7
not good.
Straight losses.
Yep, 7. 7 of them.
Not going to be good, but here's your window, Atlanta Falcons. You can improve that draft standing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they want to do at this point.
No. No, the bad thing for the Falcons is you're going to be just good enough to not get one of the 3 quarterbacks that are in this class.
Right.
Although, you want a spicy hot take for a Tuesday?
Okay.
Zach Wilson's going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft.
Quarterback from BYU.
Yep. You mark my words. I said it 2 weeks ago. I said he'd be in the first round 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I have now watched 2 primetime games of him and gone, you know what? I like him better than Justin Fields, and I'm not sure that I don't like him better than Trey Lance. He may be my second quarterback in this class.
Wow.
I know definitively he's ahead of Justin Fields right now.
Yeah.
Because I have massive reservations about Justin Fields.
You do. All right. So the Atlanta Falcons are 23. Who's 22?
God, can I do 21 and 22 together? Because I'm just so excited.
Okay.
Cleveland Browns are 21, New England Patriots 22. Because both of you suck shit. And I've said it for months.
The Cleveland Browns, who just lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, got demolished by the Steelers and the Ravens. They've won 4 games other than those, though, against bad teams. So they are. That doesn't surprise me that they're a little low, I think.
The Browns are a little low
on that list.
You know what? You want to know how the Browns can come up on this list? Stay within 30 of a team that's not below you in this power rankings, because you haven't done that so far. Because you're the Cleveland Browns and you have little puny ass Baker Mayfield as your quarterback and you're terrible. Mm-hmm. And the schedule doesn't get much easier.
So you're out ahead of that front, out in front of.
Well, the bad thing is the back end of their schedule's terrible because they play the Giants, the Jets. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. Most likely, they're going to make the playoffs.
Right. And
they're going to go in. I hope that team plays the Bills because that's how they get into the second round. Because the Bills would beat them savagely, and I would enjoy every damn second of it,
even at full strength.
Yeah.
Because they'll get Nick Chubb back.
I don't care.
And this team.
I don't care if they get Barry Sanders back. As long as it's a running back, not a quarterback, I don't care.
This team just allowed 164 yards to Clyde Edwards.
Yeah, and you know what they don't have to do? Drop 7 because they're so terrified of Baker freaking Mayfield.
Okay.
There's a big damn difference between Baker Mayfield and Pat Mahomes.
Good point.
Uh-huh.
All right. 22
20.
was the New England
22 was
Patriots.
New England because they're bad. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to put them lower. But I couldn't figure out a team that's below them that's not sewer water. Mm-hmm. And I think they're that bad. That team that played the Denver Broncos on Sunday is an atrocity. An atrocity of a dumpster fire sitting on top of a septic field.
Still not the best. Still not the worst team in their division.
No, sadly enough, they're not. Actually, the sad thing is they might be the second best team in their division. I don't think they are. I think Miami's better than them.
The Miami Dolphins at 20 on your list?
No.
All right.
Number 20 on my list is the Denver Broncos.
All right.
This team with Drew Lock's way different. And I think they could be if they hadn't had to go 4 weeks without him, I would think they could possibly be a playoff team. Mm-hmm. But they did, and they're probably not. And Melvin Gordon likes to get plastered and drive cars. So that's not a good look. He likes to go full Gary Busey and get behind the wheel of a car. So don't do that.
Bad luck for him. It just wasn't meant to be for the Broncos this year.
I mean, I think they're going to get to 8-8. Mm-hmm. I think they will be they will be in the discussion for the 8th seed or the 7th seed in the AFC. They're in that weird Chargers, Raiders, Colts. Bleh.
Do you think Drew Lock does enough to keep this job next year?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, that's quarterback future, period.
Really?
It's not close.
Okay.
I mean, he needs a lot of refining, but every draft analyst you've ever heard said that very same thing when he came out. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all said that. He needs time. Mm-hmm. You know, he's at Missouri where he was running a one-read offense. So, I mean, for him, trying to actually dissect the defense, the fact that he's doing it as well as he's doing it right now is almost stunning, especially when he's got Vic Fangio as his head coach. Man, there's some bad coaches in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And Vic Fangio is one of them.
And and if that changes, I would like their prospects for next year.
Yeah.
Because Cortland Sutton will come back and
Vic Fangio is probably not going to be the coach of that team next year.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they've seen enough to know that But he's got the defense playing well. So I can't believe I'm getting ready to say the team I'm going to say at 19.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions. Their good is good. Their bad is god awful, but
Right.
their good is good. And I almost had them at 18, and it took everything in my power, and I'm not sure that I shouldn't have. But I didn't. The team at 18 won. They shouldn't have. They should have lost to one of the poop sandwich teams, and I can't put them ahead of them.
I think they're gonna drop in those rankings.
I don't.
I think that's pretty high for them.
I don't. All right, who behind them? Who behind them is better?
Might be Atlanta, and they play them.
Atlanta's 1-5. I mean, they played one game. I mean, I thought
I
was high on Atlanta.
No, I understand you're not, but what I'm saying is next week
Overtime.
I expect them to drop because they play Atlanta this week, and I'm early on Atlanta to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna be early on Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be early on Detroit.
Okay.
I haven't even seen the number. I don't know the number at all.
I don't
You
either.
can tell me any number and I'd buy it.
Really.
And the Lions, Jordan Smith just said it in the comments, the Lions schedule coming up is an atrocity. I actually think they could go up, not down.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Above the Detroit Lions.
Ugh, Indianapolis Colts. This team's not good, and I
Well,
want them to be lower, but I can't put them below any of the teams that blow them.
They're middle of the road. Middle of the road, 8-18.
That's what they are.
They're
There's nothing better.
they're
no better than that.
They're like an on the run, out the door ham sandwich. Since you like to compare
Yeah.
people to ham sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah, they're one of those that you just slather a bunch of Dukes on. It's 2 pieces of bread and a bunch of meat.
Yeah. Wrap it in a napkin and eat it while you're driving down
Yeah,
the road.
and you get mayonnaise in your beard and on your face and in your hair.
You didn't even have the cheese. You didn't even have any cheese to put on it. Just, ugh. Ugh.
Nope.
Although, I mean, I have always said if Phillip Rivers were a food, he'd be mayonnaise. So, he's the perfect quarterback for that team. Do you think that's something that they consider? I've heard people talking about maybe Phillip Rivers needs to sit.
No. Because the alternative is Jacoby Brissett, who's the same quarterback. They're the same person.
He's just paid.
He just makes a slight bit less money.
Right.
It's not as much as you would think.
No, he makes $20 million a year. Ugh.
but gross,
Yeah,
ain't it?
You get $20 million backup quarterback.
Patrick Holt's right. The Colts are not even good enough to have Dukes on it. It's Miracle Whip.
Oh, nice Patrick.
If you put Miracle Whip on a sandwich and hand it to me, I swear to God, at best, I'm going to throw it back at you. At worst, I'm going to throw hands.
We're going to fight.
At worst, we will throw hands.
All right. Detroit Lions. Who's above them?
The Colts, I just said.
Or the Colts, excuse me. Colts. Who's above them?
Carolina Panthers. I didn't change what I think about Carolina that much based on Chicago.
No.
That defense is so good, and this offense is still gelling together. It's a weird little fluky offense, and they had some fluky things happen. Robbie Anderson, who's one of the leading receivers in the NFL right now, had a pass literally hit him right in the hands. It shot up in the air, and the Bears recovered it on the 10 or picked it off on the 10-yard line. Mike Davis fumbles backwards. They recovered at the 20-yard line. Fluky. I think if they play the Bears 10 times, Panthers win 5. Bears win 5.
I think the Carolina Panthers are right where they should be.
I agree.
Because it's
They're right in
Again,
the.
they're
They're right in the.
overachieving.
They're the definition of average.
and they're overachieving at that.
I
Which
agree with
should
that.
scare you in the future.
What do you mean?
If this team stays together and can continue an upward trajectory, it's bad news for the NFC South.
It is. 16, the LA Chargers.
You have a one-win team in
I do.
16.
I do. Because I think they're a hell of a lot better than that.
Okay.
We were talking about bad breaks for the for the Carolina Panthers. The Chargers are the definition of bad breaks. And it's unbelievable how many bad breaks they've gotten. How many games they could have won that they just didn't finish. That's a team that could fall because if I'm not mistaken, their schedule gets pretty ugly. But on talent alone, game for game, I think they would beat every team beneath them.
All right, just looking at their schedule. They got Jaguars, Broncos, Raiders, Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Patriots, Falcons, Raiders,
Ooh.
Broncos, and the Chiefs.
Ooh.
That's like they're going to split the rest of their games.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And they sneak up and bite somebody.
Which
like,
they easily could.
Like in my mind, I'm counting the Raiders as losses, but I'm not real sure about that.
Yeah, the Raiders are a weird team that you're not going to have to wait a real long time to hear their name.
I think the Los Angeles Chargers, yeah, you're right about them. They are better than they are the best one-win team, definitely.
No
and
doubt.
They're better than some.
They're
lot of
better.
multiple-win teams.
They're better than the 4-2 Cleveland Browns. Period. And to me, that's not even debatable.
Okay.
15 is the Miami Dolphins.
All right.
This is a team that confuses the piss out of me because I don't really know what they do well, and I don't think it's anything. They're the definition of average at everything. They can't run, but they can throw. They got a couple good receivers, and they play just good enough defense to beat you. They're also the only team in the NFL with a shutout against my Jets, which makes me sad.
I like the Miami Dolphins. I do, and not as like a threatening team or whatever.
The future is
super
bright. Their future's so bright they have to wear shades.
I believe in Flores.
I do too. I think he may end up being the best coach that came off the Belichick tree.
I think you're right about that. All right, climbing the ladder.
I hate this team so much. The Chicago Bears are 14. I still don't buy this team. I don't give a damn that they're 5-1. I don't care. I don't buy them because I literally look at every team that I'm getting ready to say ahead of them. The one that I could possibly put them in front of is the team that's right in front of them, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders. I could see a path that they're better than the Raiders. They're not better than any team ahead of them. They don't score well. They've had a lot of fluky shit happen. That's Brady forgets fourth down.
The tipped interception.
Yeah, there's so many things that have happened that are so fluky and weird, and I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it as long-term sustainable. I don't buy it as being a thing.
I think it is long-term sustainable, but not the margin of their wins to losses.
Correct.
I mean, they're not going to end up the season, 13-3.
Correct.
It's not going to happen. But they're still going to end up, 10-6?
Yeah, and then they get shelled in the first round of the playoffs.
Maybe.
They're going to get shelled in the
When
first
they
round
got
of
that
the playoffs.
defense.
They're going to get shelled in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
You tell me the team is going to make the playoffs that they don't get killed by. I'll wait. I mean, unless they're the lucky team that draws that NFC East team. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
They're going to get somebody to the level of the Rams or...
Maybe the Bucks again.
Yeah, and all those teams would kill them.
The Saints.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be a team that they could neutralize.
I don't agree with you at all. Saints would pace them as long as Mike Thomas is on the field. The Las Vegas Raiders at 13 are the only team in the NFL that I genuinely feel like I don't have the damnedest of a clue. I could have them too low or too high.
I think
Every other team in the league, I can tell you there's only one direction for them to go, whether it's up or down. The Raiders, I have no clue. Their good is really, really good. Their bad has been god-awful because they got demolished by the Patriots, and I can't get the taste of that out of my mouth. I understand they beat the Chiefs. I get it. But you still got just deboed by the Patriots.
I think this is a team that will get better.
I do too.
And, as much as I said they needed to move on from Derek Carr, I think
they're
it's
deep.
actually
They've
okay.
drafted well.
It's actually okay.
I mean, that's the thing. They're deep and they've drafted well. That's always a good recipe for getting better as time goes on.
They got a lot of good young players on that team, and we've said it before. Mike Mayock actually did a good job putting this team together.
I agree. I really do agree.
And I love John Gruden with every fiber of my being, so I can't,
Of
can't
course you
say
do.
much about him.
Of course you do.
Did you just say ugh?
Yeah, I'm not.
Ron just said ugh.
He won you a Super Bowl. Always remember that.
Tony Dungy made that team.
You are
and then
right.
he destroyed that team following year, bro.
He ain't wrong.
No, he's right about
But
that.
you have a Super Bowl ring and I don't, so how about you shut your dirty whore mouth? About that?
All right, Vegas Raiders, a team on the rise.
Yep. Number 12, the Arizona Cardinals. I like this team a lot. I have never wavered on the Cardinals. I understand you've made fun of me of, they're the best team in the NFC. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, look at those standings there, pudding pants.
I'm looking at them. They're 4-2, and they're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what? Sixth best team in the division in the conference.
Minus the look at their schedule. Minus the Seahawks, who do you definitively think they lose to? Because it's the Seahawks twice, and you got the Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, Rams, Giants, Eagles, 49ers, and Rams. Mm-hmm. I think they lose to the Rams once, and I think they lose to the Seahawks once. Other than that, I think they're all wins. That would put you at 12-4. Just let that be known. Solely because that Buffalo team, if you can't stop the run, this team will eviscerate you.
Right.
And Kyler Murray looks like a cartoon when he runs, and it makes me laugh.
Like it should have the
every
legs underneath.
Every time I hear him, every time I see him take off, the only thing I hear in my head is "Epa, epa, arriba." Because he runs like Speedy Gonzalez, like his feet just move so damn fast, and his body doesn't correspond.
Right.
Arriba. Anyway,
he's such a smooth upper body person.
yep. Number 11 is New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Solely because I can't put them any higher, but I can't put them any lower either. I think with Michael Thomas, they're going to get better. This is going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. They have to figure out the defense, but I believe in Dennis Allen. I think he will figure it out.
Yeah.
They have too many good pass rushers. When you can get after and they got a field general in DeMario Davis in the middle of that defense. Anytime you have this many players on defense, eventually you're going to figure it out.
There's one name you didn't mention there that always has to be mentioned with the New Orleans Saints, and that's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, he's real good.
Holy cow.
He's this might be a news break to some people. Alvin Kamara is real effing good at football. I don't know if you knew that or not. Breaking news.
Right. They're definitely one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, Michael Whiteside said probably what I should have said the first time. When Kyler Murray takes off, all he hears is bloop, bloop.
Yep.
He is fast as shit.
So next up on the list.
Hey, we're to the top 10, and this is where it's going to get weird. Because you're going to tell me I'm wrong, and I'm going to tell you to kiss my ass.
Okay.
San Francisco 49ers. Their good's real good.
I don't know that you're wrong.
Their good's real good. And I almost had them higher. Because the team in front of them is a team that I don't believe in worth a cheat. Not worth a cheat.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a stab at who that is?
The team above the 49ers. Who you
Team I don't
think
believe
is
in worth a
shit.
cheat.
The Tennessee Titans.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Nope. It's a team you like a lot.
You better not be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No.
Okay. Then I'm in
Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, the Seattle Seahawks. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
At 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You play defense that badly. You should have lost to the friggin' Vikings, who just got shellacked by the Falcons. And you should have lost to them if Mike Zimmer hadn't had a dementia moment for like 5 seconds. You would have lost to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the team. I swear to you, I'm going to fall on my. I will die on my shield before I believe in the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Because Russell Wilson is literally, he's on pace to break damn near every record in the book, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And they can't run at all. And the defense is terrible. I just have to keep saying that with Seattle because nobody seems to be listening to me.
We get the defense is terrible. We understand that.
Yeah, but you don't seem to be listening. You don't seem to be consuming it.
We're consuming it. But what we're telling you is they can outscore everybody they play. Flat out. I don't know that there's another team that could stop them.
Disagree. I believe there's several teams that can stop them.
It?
I believe that there's a bad moon horizon for the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
It might take till the playoffs, but you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You mark my words.
Okay.
When you're counting on what here's everything you need to know. I will never even hypothesize about a guy getting hurt, ever. Mm-hmm. If Russell Wilson decided he wanted to sell banjos for a living and retired tomorrow, this team would be in the 20s, and you know I'm right.
Yes. You are right.
There's no player in the NFL that's that good. None. There's none that you go from in the 20s to a top 5 team in the NFL. They don't exist. Because that guy has one bad game and you get beat by 50.
But
if Russell Wilson comes out and throws it, if Russell Wilson plays any of the 8 teams in front of them and throws 3 picks, they get beat by 30. Easy. I mean, in a walk. Get demolished. He hasn't done that yet. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Not because I think he's not overly prone to throwing interceptions. Mm-hmm. They're too predictable in what they do. They have 2 amazing receivers and an amazing quarterback. They're super predictable because they can't run at all. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who it is. Carson, Homer, Carlos Hyde, Sean Alexander, Steve Largent. Doesn't matter who they throw back there. They can't run at all. So that day's coming, and you're going to see what I'm talking about.
All right. Number 9 is the Seattle Seahawks.
Number 8 is the Baltimore Ravens. I still don't think this team's all that good because I think the defense is fine. Mm-hmm. And when I say not that good, it's a relative term. I don't think this is a Super Bowl team under any circumstances. I don't think there's any way they win a Super Bowl because they're too easy to neutralize. Make Lamar Jackson throw. Mm-hmm. And when he has to do that, he looks very ordinary. Why did they not lose to the Philadelphia Eagles? There's one very basic reason.
Why?
Because they couldn't keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Because he was terrible throwing the ball. But he also had 109 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. And every time there was a big third down, there went Lamar. Because they would lose contain on him, they would move the chains, and that's the reason the Ravens won this game.
Okay.
Because they didn't do anything else that deserved to win that game. Against the god-awful Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm. To me, the Baltimore Ravens are what they are. They're a decent team.
Luke Marshall-Haynes just had, and I hate to go backwards, but Luke Marshall-Haynes just had one of the best points I could possibly make. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are the same guy right now.
Okay.
And he has a running back where Russell doesn't. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns and you got beat 38-10. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen in Seattle. I'm telling you, that day's coming. I don't know who's going to do it, but somebody's going to do it. That's a great point. I hadn't even thought of that.
Okay.
The margin for error is too thin when you're the one player that takes a team from being a cellar dweller to a Super Bowl contender. Because you have one off night and you're going to get drilled.
It could happen, but
hadn't yet.
It hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen too many times.
The next 2 were the toughest rankings I had to do.
Okay.
And the only tiebreaker was the team at 6 beat the team at 7. The LA Rams are 7. The Buffalo Bills are 6.
I don't know if I could have the Bills ahead of the Ravens or the Rams.
The good is still really good. The good Josh Allen is still in there, and you look at the schedule and you go, you know what? You still have games against the Dolphins and the Patriots and the Jets. Mm-hmm. There's 4 more wins, cakewalk on that schedule, no doubt.
Yep.
And several more that are coin flips and a couple others that will have a Bills lean.
Yep.
I just look at that team and go, you're going to figure it out.
It's going to take a massive long streak of bad games for Josh Allen to make this team.
I want to go on a 30-second rant too about Stephon Diggs. I understand how talented he is. What you saw at him yesterday in Kansas City, where he's walking back to the line in the 2-minute drill, that's Stephon Diggs. That's the reason he was jettisoned out of Minnesota. That's the reason he fell in the draft. Nobody ever questioned his talent. We watched him at Maryland. Mm-hmm. We know how good he is. There's never any doubt how good he is. He's also lazy as piss. I am a Jets fan. I pull for a team in their division, and I was screaming at my television going, what are you doing? You can't walk back in the 2-minute drill. He literally walked so slowly that they called him for a false start because Josh Allen just snapped the ball. Mm-hmm. That is the number one thing that worries me about the Bills because they are so reliant on Stephon Diggs because he's what makes Josh Allen so good.
Right.
I understand John Brown's good. I understand they have some ancillary pieces that are fine. Stephon Diggs is what makes him a scary, that MVP guy that we were talking about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And with Diggs showing a lack of effort, that scares the piss out of me. That was one little simple play that probably nobody noticed but me, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Secret time, that one play knocked this team down like 2 spots. One little throwaway play that didn't even count. Mm-hmm. It was a non-play. Mm-hmm. It knocked them down 2 spots.
It's about the
because I do believe in this team, but it scared the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. The attitude matters, and when your team's not gelling, I mean, all the guys see that. Everybody else sees Stephon Diggs lays him back down the field, and whether or not that becomes infectious or not, it doesn't matter. It becomes contentious, if anything.
That's what I'm more worried about. I'm more worried about guys like Josh Allen that put everything out there on every play. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen was out there getting smoked down 2 touchdowns, still trying to bring this team back. And you look on the outside and your lazy-ass wide receivers walking back to the line, yeah, it's going to bother you.
Yeah.
Might not bother you today, but it's going to bother you eventually.
All right, next up on the Week 7 power rankings.
I hate this team so much, and it pains me to put them here. Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
They needed a 94-yard Derrick Henry touchdown to beat the freaking Texans. I still don't think this team's all that good. Mm-hmm. But Ryan Tannehill statistically, Tannehill's a guy I watch, and then I look at his stats, and they don't line up to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tannehill is equitable to Pat Mahomes since he became the starter in Tennessee. And I don't see that. I watch their games, and I don't see that. I see he's really good on play action, and if you're scared of Derrick Henry, he's real good. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that's too easy to neutralize. That 94-yard run by Derrick Henry was a horrid blown defensive assignment. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched the All-22 on it. The linebacker is literally on the wrong side of the formation. And I have no idea why.
Right.
I don't know what the play call was, but I know he ran directly out. He ran directly away from the hole that Derrick Henry ran into.
Right.
And it was just a foot race from there. And the safety took a bad angle. It was. If you ever want to see what bad defense looks like, look at the All-22 on that play because it was disgustingly bad.
Tennessee Titans are 5-0, and they just find ways to win.
That's why they're at 5.
Whether it be through the air, whether it be with the run, they're going to find a way to get it done. And when you have a powerful guy like Derrick Henry running, I don't care that he only gets 3 yards a carry. I will hand it to him 30 times in a ball game and rack up the first downs. It does not matter to me. I know it's not flashy. I know it's not fun to watch. But it's fun to win. And winning's more important. And I think that's how Ryan Tannehill has such great success. It's because they're so good at running the ball.
Great success.
They going to make him beat them. And he's showing that he has that in him every now and then.
Wah, wah, wee, wah. Yeah, I hate this team. I hate this team, and I hate myself for having them at 5, but I do. And I can't have them any lower, which is gross. And I hate it, and I want to move on.
All right, number 4.
Green Bay Packers. Their bad's bad, and the fact that we still can't get over the Aaron Jones thing. I don't understand how he's not getting more touches. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. And I'm starting to wonder if Matt LaFleur is going to be the impediment that keeps Aaron Rodgers from winning another ring. Mm-hmm. Between not selecting a receiver, this is the best receiver class in NFL history. Think about how good the 11 receivers ahead of Denzel Mims were, or have been this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stopped at Denzel Mims. When you haven't run a route yet, yeah, fuck you. We needed a receiver too. Didn't get one. God, I hate my team so much. But you had a shot at a bunch of these guys, and no. Hey, John Ross wants a trade, though. So if you want a little fast guy that can't catch, that'd be phenomenal. The Jets will end up trading for him. You mark my words.
Really?
I don't know why. Because he runs a 4.1 and can't catch. He sounds like a Jet to me.
I love Aaron Rodgers, and I feel bad for him in this whole scenario. But it's almost like they went too far to the other side. Last year, I felt like they ran the ball too much. I have never one time in my life ever thought the Green Bay Packers ran the ball too much. Really?
I thought they ran fat Jamal Williams too much, of which 2 carries for him in any game is too many. But I've never looked at Aaron Jones and gone, he got too many carries in that game.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I felt like it was too much of a focus last year, and now, Aaron's come back with his fuck you tour, as we've been calling it, and he's been doing great. And now, if the last game was any indication, maybe they've gone back too far the other way.
Yeah, it was not good, and it. Oh, Aaron Jones is one of those guys that I swear to you, one of these days I'm going to convince somebody of how good he is. Do you know how many times he's had over 20 carries in a game in his career?
No. 4 times? That's it?
In 4 years, he's had over 20 carries 4 times. Yep. Hey, you know what the common thread of all those games is?
What?
They won every fucking one of them. Against good teams, too.
Yeah.
Vikings last year. Vikings twice last year, actually. Seahawks in the playoffs. Yeah. Weird.
All right. That means number 3 is?
I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it because it's gonna, and then I'm gonna have to hear from you two, and it's just I don't want to do it.
Drum roll.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, baby.
They're good.
It feels good. It feels good.
They're good, real good.
Yeah.
The defense not taking a drop off, losing Vita Vea is the reason that I put them up there. Plus, this is the most underrated thing that literally probably nobody outside of this room even knows it. They just traded for Steve McClendon.
Yep.
He's a defensive tackle from the Jets. He's one of the best locker room guys in the 25 years I've been watching football. He's probably the best locker room guy we've ever had. And there's about to be a mutiny in New York because we dealt him.
And not only that, on Sunday, the backup played pretty well. Nunez, what's his name? Nunez Roches. He played pretty well against the Green Bay Packers. That defense, I'm telling you, to me, it was shades of 2002. It was shades of 2002. It was all the things that you want a defense to do. You want them to just keep the other team in check and get big turnovers. And that's exactly what they did against the Green Bay Packers. If they could do that week in and week out, it remains to be seen. But it's going to be hard to stop them. And it looked, I know Tom's numbers weren't great.
He's playing like Brad Johnson.
But it didn't matter. It did not matter.
1 and 2 in my power rankings are borderline the same team. Because if you told me I could have these 2 teams, I'll give you the field. If you said I can have these 2 teams to win the Super Bowl, I'll give you the rest of the league.
Kansas City Chiefs.
2.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Number 1. You tell me I can have those 2 teams, I'll give you the rest of the league. Because they're the 2 most complete teams in the league, and it's not close. I like your Bucks, don't get me wrong, but they still have deficiencies.
Yes.
And you need Ronald Jones to run like he did last week, and I need to see that more consistently before I'm willing to put them up there. Green Bay needs to hand the ball to Aaron Jones more before I put him up there. The Titans need an act of God before I'm willing to put them up there. The Seahawks need to learn to play defense. The Ravens need to show me that they can pass the ball down the field. There's a but with every team but these 2 teams. The Steelers and the Chiefs are 2 best teams in the league. And and I'll listen to your argument. You're not going to convince me otherwise. They're the 2 best looking teams. The Chiefs, I don't want you to understand what I'm going to say. The Chiefs have played 2 ugly games in a row. Against the Raiders, which they were in till the last snap, and last night against the Bills, and they dominated them. They played terribly, and they dominated them. Tyreek Hill had, 2 catches for 20 yards or something like that? Mecole Hardman had nothing filling in for Sammy Watkins. Travis Kelce was the only offensive weapon outside of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they still found a way to do it. And the defense was good, and it made an MVP candidate look average.
Coming up in the next 2 weeks, we're talking about this before the show began today, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the Titans and the Ravens next. So if you're on the fence about them, they're 5-0, but they beat all bad teams, Cleveland Browns being the latest of them, you're going to get you're going to get some questions answered over the next 2 weeks for them. The fact that Devin Bush is out,
that hurts.
It
don't
hurts
get me
their
wrong.
defense, but I mean that's such a well-coached team that I think they can make up for any absence that they have. Kansas City Chiefs are my 2 as well. I don't see another path. I mean, the Pittsburgh is the only team that I can see beating them one-on-one right now. All right, we are coming to the end of the program. World Series starts tonight. Ron, come here. All right.
Hold on.
Slide out for a second.
Yep, that way.
Slide out for a second. All right, World Series starts off tonight. Game 1, Dodgers and your Tampa Bay Rays, Ron. So give it to me. Give me the spiel. Why is Tampa going to win this World Series?
These 2 teams have the most depth out of any other team in the league, which is why they're both in the place they are. I am not picking the Dodgers to win because they just can't win. Do you know how many times they've been to the World Series?
It's been quite a
They've
few.
been 20 times. You know how many times they've won? They've won 6 times.
6 times.
They've been to the series 20 times. I think Charles Morgan is going to be a factor. I think the Dodgers are heavy favored too.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily favored. I just don't see a path where they're going to win, especially if Charles Morgan's playing the way he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the pitching staffs of both of these teams. I think they're both deep. They both hit the ball really well. Randy Arozarena,
Yep.
I'm working on it. He might just be the best player on the planet, as Tyler Glasnow said a few weeks ago. He is playing scary good for a kid who's still considered a rookie. I know he played late last season a little bit. He's still considered a rookie, and he might be one of the best players to come out of Cuba ever.
I agree.
So I think it's going to be fun. I'm going with the Rays to win as well. I'm going in 7, though. I think
Rays
this
in
is
7.
going to be back and forth.
I think it will too. I think the Dodgers might even win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're going to.
I could see a path where the Dodgers win the first 2 of this series, just riding the high of completing the comeback against the Braves, and then the Rays are just going to dig deep. Because that's what they do. They always do this. They're the one franchise that always pisses me off.
Yep. And I think Glasnow is starting tonight too.
Yes,
Yep.
Glasnow is starting tonight. It is going to be a fun World Series. So you're on the Rays in
6.
Rays in 6. I'm going Rays in 7. If you want to go on the Dodgers, I get it.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, history's not on your side though. I'm just waiting for the Dodgers to do it again, to fall apart again. And people are saying maybe the comeback, the 3-1 comeback against the Braves is, the juice that they need to get over the hump.
No.
But this ain't the 2004 Red Sox.
Yeah,
You know me, I'm a narrative guy, and I don't feel it.
Well,
I
if
just
a
don't feel
narrative
it
guy,
with the Dodgers.
the Rays have beaten the Yankees and the Astros, probably the 2 most hated franchises in the league right now.
Absolutely.
So I think they're going to be pulled for a lot, and I think it's just going to pull off.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it for us in the Sportsocracy this morning. Thanks for tuning in with us at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Like it, share it, follow it, hit the notifications button so you'll know anytime that we go live every weekday morning, 9 a.m. right here on Facebook and YouTube Live. We'll be with you this afternoon, Jeremy and I, on the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, ESPN Asheville. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, weekday afternoons, 3 to 5. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy the first game of the World Series. We'll be back with you tomorrow.